Also watching Morning Rush live on ZTM Prime. We're having a discussion. I've got two guests in studio. I've got Mark Malherbe from Prosound South Africa, co-owner and technical director, and Andrea Granata, Meyersound sales manager, Middle East and Africa. Mark was just explaining what Prosound does. They're one of the, I'm not going to call them foreign companies because they're South African. They're our brothers who are actually participating. Neighbours at the AV Expo being held at at the showgrounds, Nelson Mandela Hall. Andrea, you know, I'm excited about this. I mean, Mbaki, head of sound, is involved in it here at ZTM Prime. Give us an overview. It started yesterday. How has it been? I know you did a workshop, talk about that, but also the attendance.
So it was very interesting, and it made me very happy to be there because we saw a lot of young folks. And the most interesting part was that, yeah, the exhibition was important, but everybody attended all the different classes because there is literally a lot of desire to learn and to know more about the technical details, but also how to build the production and event. So I found the attendance really interesting.
And of course the engagement I hear is very good. Well, I want to talk about the workshop. Like, you facilitated the workshop, I understand?
Yes. We've been talking a little bit about the difference between spatial audio, immersive audio, and how these technologies are taking slowly but steadily place and are gaining respect. And it's like having a new vocabulary, but there is a grammar to be written, and this is what makes spatial audio particularly exciting.
I like that. I'm going to quote you on that one. Now, just very quickly, before I go over to Mark, Meyersound, talk to me about them quickly.
It's a brand that was established in 1979 by John and Ellen Meyer, and it's still John and Ellen's company.
Oh, good for them.
They always been pioneers in terms of having a scientific approach to audio. In the years where everybody was trying to find out, they developed tools that are based on science that improved a lot. Okay. In recent years, we've been working with tools such as Metallica or Ed Sheeran was probably one of the biggest.
They use your equipment.
Yes, using our equipment, and we've been involved in some of the most exciting projects, audio projects around the world.
I hope you guys know who Metallica is. All you guys are like your heavy metal. That used to be the only music we listen to in this country. Mark, you're a pioneer, or your company and yourself being a pioneer in the entertainment industry in Africa. One of the comments that we had, the conversation that we had, was about how is Africa sort of up there with world standards? Do we have the right equipment? Do we have the right training and so forth? What are your views about that, particularly bringing it back to this AV Expo?
I think that, as a continent, we've got a wealth of talent. There's absolutely no two ways about it. We've got people who are passionate, people who are keen. I think at the moment the distribution of technology is not what it should be, but everybody's keen to learn. And I think more and more people are now actually starting to realise that they can work with it. There's a demand happening for it. And the more we create that, the more we work together. And I really mean it as a continent, because that's where the strength will lie.
Yeah. Together as well, we will win.
Exactly. Right. I know it sounds a bit cliched, but it is genuinely that.
Do you think we're kind of there international standard-wise? We're still catching up, is it? I know South Africa's probably a bit ahead of Nigeria, probably.
Yeah, I think between those two regions, we're really up there with the best of the best, but we're not attracting enough of the international work down there yet, or into those regions, because we can't look at the whole continent as a touring platform. The moment everywhere becomes a little bit more accessible, a little bit more economically viable, then our industry.
I mean, you make a good point, because we always say that when you get into these sort of industries, unfortunately, in some African countries, it doesn't give you a living. And it's unfortunate, because you have a great talent and you're having to force to do something else because this doesn't give you a proper living. Andreas, let's. What about your experience? I mean, I asked Mark, and I'll ask you the same question. In terms of what you see on the ground in Africa, whether your type of equipment is the kind of stuff that we should be buying, we should be at a lower level kind of thing to build up there. I mean, what are your views about the standard in Africa, or even in Zimbabwe?
I know that may sound weird, but I think that 90% of the technology available can do the job.
Right.
We should be able to communicate in a way where we understand where that extra 10% is needed, and it makes sense. But most importantly is the people. We can have low second-tier equipment and motivated people who's professional. Everything will be solved. we can have the best equipment, but without people, not so much. So I'm happy and I feel positive because I saw the people. Technology is coming, technology is available, you can buy it
You
online.
saw the enthusiasm.
But the enthusiasm and the willingness to learn, that was really...
Well, guys, I take my hat off to all of you who've attended. Of course, there's still today to go. And you can catch the free workshops on Facebook. Facebook.com/AV Expo ZW. AV Expo ZW. Start streaming at 10 a.m. until 3 p.m. You can catch them live. But, of course, get out to the showgrounds. Nelson Mandela Hall is still going on. Learn about sound. Learn about what we do here, I suppose, at ZTM Prime. It's a very exciting one of the events. Right then, final words. Let me start with you, Mark. There you are. You're talking to millions of people. What do you say?
No, again, I'd just encourage them to come and join us. Some of the classes that are being done are really good. Good education happening. And the more we meet and greet, the more we're actually going to transfer the knowledge and the better everybody's going to be. Yeah.
Sir?
Yes, and the audio industry is a fairly friendly place, so it's a good occasion to come, have a coffee, and have a talk about what we did, what we're going to do, and grow up together.
There you go. And you hear this. The broadcasting space is a friendly place. Am I not a friendly bloke? Mark Malherbe, Prosound RSA and technical director, and Andrea Granata, Meyersound sales manager, Middle East and Africa. Gentlemen, thank you, and good luck today in the expo.
Konapo, ipapo pa ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.